Hi there, this is a Singing Accountant's Guide to Tax and Accounts, and this video is all about how to get your self-assessment tax return refund. There may be other reasons why you might want to get a refund from the taxman, but this is specifically for those people that have done a self-assessment tax return. So why would you get a refund? Well, why not? Seems like a good idea to me. So if you are only PAYE, then this should automatically come through when HMRC do something called a P800 reconciliation. Woohoo! However, quite often they don't do that until October, so there are ways of applying for a refund if you think you are due a refund. That is not being covered in this video. That is something completely separate. So you might have overpaid PAYE and you're a self-employed person or do a tax return for another reason. And it's highly possible to overpay PAYE because you've got things like the marriage transfer allowance. If you only apply for it right at the end of the tax year, then the tax code won't have been adjusted throughout the year. It may come through in the last month, but potentially it will come through in a form of a P800 or applying via your tax return. You can tick the button that says give me my marriage transfer allowance. You might have several jobs that are all taking basic rate tax out of you, so no one's actually applying the personal allowance. So as soon as you earn, £100, £20 of that has gone straight off to the taxman, ignoring the fact you might have had a personal allowance that could have come off for that £100. If you have made contributions to charity, that won't have gone through on your PAYE coding unless you have asked HMRC to adjust for it in previous years. So contributions to charity will increase the threshold from when you stop paying 20% tax to when you pay 40% tax. And it's the same with paying into a pension pot that is nothing to do with an employer's pension pot. This is a personal pension, and again, you've not told HMRC in previous years. It won't have been adjusted through your tax code, therefore when you do a tax return, you can put that through and that will then give you the potential of a refund because it increases the threshold between 20% and 40% tax. So there might have been, if you are self-employed, you might have got a loss in your self-employment that you can offset against your PAYE income if you have any PAYE income. That means your total income would be less than what has been declared on PAYE, therefore you would have overpaid income tax and you can get it back. You might have done a pension drawdown, and pension drawdowns attract tax at basic rate. So they might have said, oh, here's £5,000 off your pension, by the way, we're deducting £1,000 worth of tax. If you haven't earned enough to pay that £1,000 worth of tax, then you can potentially get some or all of it back. And finally, there is this situation of payment on account. There is a separate video what payment on account already is for the self-employed, and if your tax year that you're currently filing the tax return has income lower than the previous years, potentially you would have overpaid your payment on account. And that's quite possible for people that have had a really good year and then having a really bad year and not done much work. Then you might have paid a significant amount on account for the future tax years. The future tax year has come and there's no way you should have paid all that amount on payment on account. So potentially you can get the money back, or you can get HMRC to keep it and use it against future tax bills. My gut feeling is if you haven't been working that much, you might want to get the money back. So there are loads of reasons. Oh, the final one here is if you are a person in the construction industry and you have been deducted what they call CIS deductions, which is 20% of your total pay for that job, then that doesn't take into account any personal allowance, and potentially you can have money coming back for overpayment on the CIS deductions. So they are the main reasons why you might get a tax refund. So your accountant, tax agent, or even you will have done your tax return, and eventually you'd find out whether you're due a refund or if you've overpaid payment on account. It does take at least 72 hours from filing your tax return to your online account being updated, showing how much you owe or how much should be repaid. If you'd put in the tax return your bank details, in theory, HMRC should refund you the money directly by using the information on your tax return. So using that, they should refund it within 2 to 4 weeks. Now, don't always put your bank details into the tax return, because if you're not due a refund, then they don't need to know what your bank account details are. That's always the ploy to go for. However, most people don't put their bank details in, and when it comes to being a refund, you then have to apply for it because HMRC don't know where to send the money to. Okay, so if you haven't put the bank details in the self-assessment tax return, this is how you go in and request for the money to be sent to you. So you go back to logging into your digital tax account. Again, here is the short URL for it, and it will take you to this screen. Enter your Government Gateway ID, which is up to 12 characters. It could be a mixture of letters and numbers. It could all just be numbers. And go and click Sign In. You want to get to the business tax account. So that is where you will find the self-assessment. Okay, so if you open to your personal tax accounts, it will be personal at the top, then along here will be a link to your business tax account. But this one here has gone straight to the business tax account. All right, so what we won't want to look at, I've got my finger and my screenshot out of order, is you want to click on self-assessment and you want to view your self-assessment tax return for the year you want to get the money back. So you'll see here, my balance here is I could get back £262.83, but I owe amount there. So I'm not telling you what that amount is, but I owe that amount, so I'm just letting them hold on to it. But I purposely overpaid. Okay, so view your tax assessment for 1920 or the year you're looking at. Okay, this takes us to the tax year screen. We haven't yet rolled over automatically yet to 2020-21, but it will do if that is where you are. So this right hand side menu you've got here, what we want to go for is look at the current position. So the previous screen I had, it said I was due a refund of £262. So click on current position and it will show you, woohoo, I've overpaid. I can have a request and get £262.83 back. Okay, so what we're going to do, we are going to press request refund. All right, so I can get £262.83, which is great, thank you. But it's up to me to decide what money I want back. It won't let you overpay or over refund, but there is the option, if I only put in, say, £100 in here, it will only refund me £100 and I will still have £162.83. Why is this important? Well, it might be a case of you still have a payment on account to make in July, but the money that they've got available to refund might more than cover the July payment. So you can keep the July amount with HMRC and then just get a refund of the net difference. So that's one way of making sure you know you've paid your July payment on account, and you don't have a problem if you forget to pay, because there won't be anything to pay. So I'm going to enter in here the amount I want, and then go for next. And it says, am I refunding this to a personal account, to a business account, a nominee's personal account, or a nominee's business account? So what I could do as a tax agent, I could say, no, I'm refunding it to a nominee's business account. So that could be my account as your tax agent. Some accountants do that. What they do, they get the refunds and then they take any fees out of that refund before paying it over to you, the client. I don't believe in doing that. I believe in billing my clients separately, and you then pay the fees and you get the refund direct to you. So this is when it becomes important that you do need to tell your accountant, if they are going to be doing it, to give them your bank details. But this way we're doing it that you are applying for the refund direct. So it's going to your personal bank account, click next. And now it wants to have all the details of what the bank account is, your name and address. They've now introduced that they will check the account it's going to, which is also why they ask whether it's a business account or a personal account, whether it's your account or a nominee's account. They will check that the person's details in here matches the tax return it is being done for. Okay, so enter your data into here and then go for next. And this is the confirmation you will get. You'll get the amount to be refunded going into your personal account, your account details, etc., etc. And it will also give you at the bottom reference numbers to show that you have done that application. Why is that important? Well, sometimes, unfortunately, HMRC seem to lose the request for the refund, and I have known it that I've applied 3 or 4 times to get refunds for clients. They go into a black hole and you never get to hear from it. And it's only when the client then phones up and complains that they eventually get the money sent through. Don't know why. They haven't ever explained if there's any security checks, etc. But that is the situation. So you are best to apply for it yourself rather than getting your tax agent to do it for you. And that's it. So you can then return to self-assessment and then you're done for that session. As always, if you've got any questions, please drop me an email and I will do my best to help. Okay, thanks very much. Bye.